victims from evil plans. Randall took his solemn oath and sat within the stand alongside a stern-faced judge who ruled across the land. Do you swear to tell the truth? The bailiff asked the man who stood trial for the death of a woman and her clan. I do not swear to anything inside your crooked court. I don't recognize your authority. I am not your sport. Rained down upon the man charged with crimes of murder to make him answer what was asked. Before he went much further, I did not kill the family, Randall shouted from his chair. I don't recall the crime you charge. This trial is not fair. The lawyer for the family approached the bench and barked. We have all the evidence, the photographs are marked. You know my client had no chance to escape your punishment. Your anger lashed out at them all without a shred of admonishment. 3 lay dead inside her car. When you sealed their tragic fate, and you felt you did your best, so you would not be late. At Bible camp, blue holy summer air turned a man to a fiend by shadows hiding there. A simple man died that night, the altar stained in red, and Cyprian Savoon did arise, a creature of the dead. Took his uncle's ancient name to cover up his crimes, a ghost upon the highway tracks, a fugitive of time. But every throat he ever tore and every life he took left a heavy blood-stained page inside his mental book. Forever tech to stay within the shade. Behind the glass and sterile tubes was the choice he had made. Avoiding eyes and human touch, a solitary life until the day she walked inside and cut him like a knife. He saw her face and felt the rush of terror in his chest, the memory of his kill pounding in his breast. A panic attack that stole his breath. The sweat began to pour as history came knocking loud against his clinic door. He drew her blood and read the page. The ink was sharp and clear. Stringer was the name she bore that brought his oldest fear. The surname of the girl he killed from camp so long ago. The memories of his life before, when he felt so low. Wash away the crimson stain and let the curtain fall. The monster that he became hides behind the wall. The monster wants a final peace and a quiet place to lie. A sinner seeking judgment as he seeks to die. He knew he couldn't end his life by his heavy hand. The laws he had to follow now were more than he could stand. He needed those to see the truth, to bring him to the light, to face a court of human law and stop his endless night. He walked into the city lights where all the people gather to give up all his secrets. Now the truth was all that mattered. He'd tell them of obsessive thirst and the hunger in his veins, and let the scales of justice break his mortal chains. The weight of sorrow pulling down his life is so unfair. A rain of tears from the sky adds to his despair. The shadows and memories won't leave him all alone. A cold and heavy, thoughtless burden that's carved into a stone. Wash away the crimson stain and let the curtain fall. The monster that he became hides behind the wall. The monster wants a final peace and a quiet place to lie. A sinner seeking judgment as he seeks to die. Wash away the crimson stain and let the curtain fall. The monster that he became hides behind the wall. The monster wants a final peace and a quiet place to lie. A sinner seeking judgment as he seeks to die. The days followed after with rot in the well, as Oak Haven turned to a frontier of hell. The cattle dropped dead where the wire was strung, and in the lead to fashion the buckshot, to strike at the dead. Lock up the chapel and bolt down the door. The shadow is creeping across the church floor. The cross is turning gray and the battery is low as we wait for the storm and the terrible blow. But Xavier's chest was a blister of pain from holding the cross that was fighting the stain. The meteorite stone had turned brittle and gray. Its cosmic radiation was fading away. A voice like the thunder roared into the nave and spoke from the shadows as cold as a grave. I hunger for iron that fell from the height, to feed on its fire, reclaim my old might. Lock up the chapel and bolt down the door. The shadow is creeping across the church floor. The cross is turning gray and the battery is low as we wait for the storm and the terrible blow. The deputy stumbled right through the church door and bled from his eyes as he dropped to the floor. Surrender the star iron cross by the night. Watch the whole town turn to ash in the light. The preacher looked down at his dying brigade and knew that a terrible price must be paid. He strapped the dull cross to a black powder pack and stepped through the doors to the midnight and black. Lock up the chapel and bolt down the door. The shadow is creeping across the church floor. The cross is turning gray and the battery is low as we wait for the storm and the terrible blow. He walked out alone to the edge of the town while the sky turned to black and the heavens looked down. A lone holy warrior with dynamite bounds to fight for the sisters and save his square grounds. Lock up the chapel and bolt down the door. The shadow is creeping across the church floor. The cross is turning gray and the battery is low as we wait for the storm and the terrible blow. Lock up the chapel, lock up the chapel, bolt down the door, bolt down the door. Shadow is creeping, the shadow is creeping across the church floor. The cross is turning gray and the battery is low as we wait for the storm and the terrible blow.